So can you use the AirPods Max for music production? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. So let's get into it. How's it going, y'all? It is Ben Aqua, music producer, multimedia artist, alien from another realm. And if you want to check out my music, go to Spotify and Apple Music and search for Ben Aqua. Follow me on Spotify, share my music with your whole family. I highly appreciate all the support. So when I'm mixing my music, I typically mix actually in my monitors, my studio monitors. But when I'm not in my studio, of course, I'm on headphones, and I'll use a combination of a few different pairs of headphones, primarily the Technica ATH M50x BT, like the Bluetooth version of their iconic M50x. And then sometimes I'll use the Sony WH XM3s. But then a few weeks ago, Apple announced the AirPods Max and the whole world blew up being like, what is up with these $550 headphones and are they worth it? So first of all, let's talk about what I really actually like about the AirPods Max. Number one definitely has to be sound quality. These things in general just sound superb for most styles of music, including electronic music, rap, even classical music, rock, metal. I mean, everything that pipes through the AirPods Max sounds so good. And one of the reasons for that is these have DSP, digital signal processing, which is basically a fancy term for in real time analyzing the environment around you and producing the best sound for your ear holes. But what about the sound quality when it comes to music production? In my personal opinion, I can tell you that I am really enjoying using these AirPods Max for music production. I will not say these are the most flat of headphones. In fact, they're very not flat. They're definitely tuned to have a sparkly high end, especially in the high trebles, and really smooth vocals in the middle. Sometimes the vocals sound a little pushed back for my personal taste, but these headphones also have a really present sub bass and kind of mid to low range that's actually very pleasing to the ears. There's some headphones, like sometimes the Sony WH XM3s, for example, when they produce a really thick and that really dramatic bass, it's really thumping, it's really amazing, but sometimes it'll actually overpower some of the mids and especially the mid lows in the mix down. And the AirPods Max does a really good job of kind of balancing all of the frequencies together into one pleasing sound. So if you want flat headphones, I would definitely not recommend the AirPods Max. I would probably recommend something like the ATH M50x BT or just the M50x, the normal not so Bluetooth version. Those will give you a much flatter sound. These will give you an amped up sound, which is why I actually do enjoy listening to my mix downs on the AirPods Max. Sometimes it's more about the headphones emulating what the average listener or the average listener with $550, like what they would be using to actually listen to the music, because a majority of the people actually listening to your music are not using studio monitors or a flat pair of headphones. They're probably using something like the AirPods Pro, maybe even the AirPods Max. So that's where I think the AirPods Max sound quality really excels, is giving you this really sparkly and clean version of your track. And I also wanted to talk about how wide these headphones sound, because the AirPods Max are honestly one of the most wide sounding stereo field encompassing headphones that I have really ever used. I don't know what kind of science and technology they're using to spread that signal out, but it sounds absolutely fantastic. But sometimes it almost sounds like it's almost too wide, where it's widening out certain frequencies, especially like the sub bass, kind of spreading that out. Sometimes details actually go a little too much in the left and right stereo field, but overall I love how wide these headphones sound. So I mentioned noise canceling, and I wanted to talk about that next, because these have awesome noise canceling that is on par with the Sony WH XM series. They're not perfect, like they won't get rid of every single rumble and every voice around you, but if you really want to shut out the outside world to focus on your productions, the AirPods Max do a really good job with noise canceling. So for example, I was unfortunately in a hospital recently for many days. It wasn't anything related to my health, but I was there to support, and I was hearing a lot of beeps and a lot of just noises and voices, and like I'm already kind of hypersensitive to sounds, and the AirPods Max really came in handy with that noise canceling mode, where I could be sitting there in a pretty noisy environment and just basically shut out the world and just focus on my productions. I can really hear a lot of details in the sub bass, the mids, the trebles, just kind of dancing around the stereo field without hearing all the distractions around me. So highly recommend the noise canceling feature for music production as well. Also, when I'm producing music with the AirPods Max, I found it really handy to have other features that the AirPods Max have in terms of the integration with iOS and with macOS, where you can just be working on your tracks and then you switch to your phone to take a phone call or, text a couple people. Or if I wanted to just take a break, and watch some YouTube or something like that, I can use these headphones to immerse myself in that experience as well. And then go to your iPad, write an email or whatever, using the same pair of headphones, switching the music source really seamlessly from device to device. Another huge factor I've been thinking about with the AirPods Max in relation to music production is a lot of my music production sessions will take several hours. Sometimes I will get lost in my music for hours at a time. And if you're in your headphones for that long, you have to have a comfortable fit. And the AirPods Max are generally very comfortable. They stay on my head really nice and snug. They do feel a little bit snug on kind of this section of my ear, like my upper ear, which is where it seems like most of the pressure of the headphones is sitting. Of course, they're also sitting on the top of my head, and this headband is actually really comfortable. It doesn't look comfortable at all. It's beautifully designed, but when you look at it, you're like, how's this? No, this isn't gonna feel good on my head. But surprisingly, the top headband actually feels nice and kind of bouncy plush on your head. So it's beautiful and it's extremely functional. I don't really like 100% that the AirPods Max kind of digs into the top of my ear. That may be because I wear these thick glasses as well. That can lead to ear physical fatigue, and it also can lead to sweat kind of accumulating in the upper ear, which is not pleasant, especially because I live in Texas where it's hot as hell. With an ideal pair of headphones, I would want that cup to be nicely placed around my entire ear with kind of an even amount of pressure from the upper and lower parts of my ear. They are comfortable, but I don't really think I would want to use these for like 8 or 9 hours a day when I'm in a really deep production session. The AirPods Max are also built like a freaking tank, but they are made of mostly metal parts, which is really good for durability, but on my head they feel kind of heavy, way noticeably heavier than the ATH M50x and also the Sony WH M3s. These feel like they're like twice as heavy as both of those headphones, especially the Sonys. Let's talk about battery life now for those long music production sessions. If you're sitting there for 8 or 9 hours a day or whatever, these will probably last you a couple days because these are rated to get about 18 to 19 hours on a single charge. And there's been a lot of controversy because these don't ever actually turn off, even when you use this ridiculous case that comes with the AirPods Max, which I actually don't mind using that much after a couple weeks. And it straight up looks like SpongeBob's butt cheeks. Even when you're using this ridiculous case, they go into an ultra low power mode, but they never actually turn off. And I guess the idea is that when you take them out of the case especially, you can easily pair them to your devices, which is true. But I do want to turn these things off. I don't like having a device that just constantly draws power from my phone and my iPad and stuff. So using these for long production sessions I think would be okay, but you definitely are gonna need some kind of charging apparatus near you because these aren't gonna last more than a couple days if you're in the studio for, several hours for a couple days. On the positive side, you can plug these in using the lightning port on the bottom and use these for, an hour or two just for plugging these in for like 5 to 10 minutes. So battery life isn't really an issue, but it doesn't get as good battery life as the Sony WH M3s. The Audio Technicas I think get up to 30 hours. So one of my concerns also when I'm producing music, especially when I'm on the go, these are very well built, but they feel so fragile, especially at the price point of $550. When they're in the case only covers about this much of the headphones. So if you're throwing these in your bag, which I did many times going back and forth to the hospital recently, in the back of my mind, it made me nervous AF to be like, I don't really feel comfortable throwing these in a backpack the way I would with my Sony XM3s, which are lightweight and rugged. Like I don't even use a case on those when I throw them in my backpack. But with these, they're so fancy feeling and so expensive that they actually make me kind of nervous. It does make me feel like I'm gonna rip, especially this fabric part on the headband or I'm gonna scratch these, you know, and just one scratch on these on $550 pairs of headphones will make these automatically look so much less fancy after paying that much for headphones. You know, you want your headphones to look really good. But I have thrown these in my backpack several times in the last couple weeks, and I don't notice a single scratch or blemish on these at all. I don't notice any discoloration on the ear cups, which are replaceable for a hefty fee of $70, I believe. So if you're looking for a pair of headphones that you just want to like toss around and not have to worry about using a case, I would probably not recommend the AirPods Max because number one, they're expensive and you could buy like 2 pairs of those Sony XM3s or almost 3 pairs of the Audio Technica for the same price as one AirPods Max. And with those headphones, they feel rugged, and because they're cheaper, psychologically, I'm just like, oh, I can just throw this in my backpack and not have to worry. So overall, I am loving the AirPods Max, and I do think they are worth that hefty $550 price tag. But if you're on more of a budget, I would probably steer away from the AirPods Max because while they're really nice and they sound amazing and the build quality is awesome, but if you are wanting, you know, a pair of headphones that's a little more flat on the frequency spectrum, I would probably recommend the ATH M50x BT, the Bluetooth version of the Audio Technica headphones. If you're out there and you are a music producer as well, let me know what you think in the comments about the AirPods Max, using them for music production. I'm really curious to see what all of you are using for your music production, so sound off in the comments as to what your favorite pair of headphones is. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and smash that like button, that notification bell. Have an awesome rest of your day. Make some music, make some amazing beats that take all our mind off of the apocalypse happening outside, and I'll see you in the next video.